All right. Hey, guys. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? This is going to be a specific message. In my mind's eye, I saw somebody like fumbled and dropped a coin, and I think it was a dime, but it fell and it like ended on its edge and was like spinning, 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 and like the person was waiting to see instead of just picking up, and stopping the spin, they wanted to kind of see how does it land, heads up, tails up, which way is it going to end. And I just feel like it's I don't know, it's something about like you don't know how something's going to go just yet, but it's definitely the idea of somebody dropping a coin. I don't think they were flipping it. I don't think it was like intentional. It's just that since something has tumbled out of their hand and now they're like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder how that's going to land. So I don't know if this is like a metaphor for an individual wondering what's going to happen, wondering what the outcome of something is going to be, or if it's a person who's like, flipping the coin, like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. I don't know what to do. But my impression is that they didn't do that on purpose. Hi, everyone. Great to see you guys. All right. So, Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins is, this is somebody usually who's planted seeds and now it's harvest time. We could have a divine masculine. This could be somebody who actually is a farmer or they like being out, in the earth. They might have recently looked to see how their plants are growing. This could be somebody who's also been like checking up on, some kind of savings account, or maybe this is somebody who watches stock market and things like that. But it's definitely money related, resource related, and it's about growth. How is my garden growing? How is my portfolio growing? How are things going right now? We have the sun. It kind of looks like this person we're going to say that it's a divine masculine that we're talking about. Okay. They care about the legacy that they leave behind for their children or their reputation or it's like more about how are things growing and going that I've put an investment of my energy, my time, my resources into because I want to see them flourish so that I leave something behind. This is a man who is probably, thinking about what do we leave behind in this world, for our children. Is it something good? Am I proud of what I've done? Am I proud of the things that I am leaving as a legacy for children, my children, or even just anything that I've wanted to nurture? Have I done so? We've got the Knight of Wands. I mean, we keep getting these really happy cards, but this is scattered energy and passionate energy, but it also feels transitional because that Knight of Wands is something that's a little bit untrustworthy. Is this somebody who's doing it for the babe? Is he like, I want to make sure that I'm, doing something that, like people will, like I'll say applaud me for, or to impress a girl. I mean, it could be that, could be to impress a girl. I don't know though. I don't really get a negative vibe off of this. I feel like this is somebody who's actually thinking long and hard about, how he's put his energy into things. I think if anything, he's trying to build something beautiful for people that he cares about. I don't really see this as ego. We've got the Nine of Wands. We've got the World. In this storyline, I feel like this is very much a personal story of like one masculine who has been working hard, maybe like in a very humble industry, humble field, or in his mind, he's done something humble. He could be incredibly talented, but he just sees himself as somebody who's just tried to do his best, and he's done his best, and I think he's yielding really great results. Now, that might give him a certain amount of additional freedom now. It seems like he's also been healing some wounds of his own, but it looks like he's ready for the next chapter of his life. Now, I do think to a certain extent, the effort he's been putting in, not only is it for his legacy, not only is it for, like maybe he wants to be a great role model to his children if he has children, but I also do think that it's probably for, like the love of a woman, or, someone that he is attracted to, someone that he wants to, I'm not going to say impress exactly, but he's picturing the next chapter of his life. And he does have this plan in mind for the next chapter of his life. This is a man who's put his house in order. He took a, page out of Elvis's playbook and he cleaned up his own backyard. This actually feels really good. There's not a negative card here. I don't think he's doing it for the wrong reason. In fact, I think if anything, this is a very cognizant masculine who is making sure that whatever he's put his energy into, maybe he had some things he had to tidy up in himself. We all have stuff that we need to improve, in ourselves. And maybe he really took himself to task, because that 9 of Wands says both of these cards say he's really put in some serious time and effort so that he can hold his head up and feel proud of himself, so that he can imagine himself having the life that he wants to have with the individual that he wants to be with. That's amazing. I feel like this is really wonderful. But he could have a snake tattoo. Either literally, just a serpent, crawling, or a serpent, as we see here, tail and tongue. But this feels like it's all come together. This is full circle. He's proud of himself in this storyline. Now, this feminine, we see her in white a lot. We see her, he may view her this way as someone, he definitely thinks that she has her own sense of pride, but also her own sense of freedom, her own sense of something pure about her, though, at the same time. She's very cool. In his mind, she's very cool. She's got some sex appeal here, and she comes across as somebody who kind of does what she wants to do. She may also be somebody that he kind of thinks could be he assumes a lot of people would want to be with her. She may be someone who has her choice of different lovers, but in his mind, it's yeah, but that still is someone that I would want to choose as my mate. I'd be proud to stand beside her. We do see the 9 of Cups here also that's just come up. I don't know if just because the genie here, it of course makes me think of Aladdin. It of course also makes me think of a belly dancer-esque, somebody who maybe her name is Jeannie or starts with a J or something, but it feels like he sees her as someone who she's very happy. She's associated with sunflowers in his mind. She's associated with magic. There's some element about her that he thinks is very powerful, very sexy, very successful, almost like where she goes, things blossom. Like she's got a magic, open sesame kind of, I'll say power to people like her. People want to collaborate with her. He sees her as somebody who tends to, I'm going to say it this way, she tends to get her way in his mind, but not because she's sly or coy, but more because she's got this brightness to her, this joy to her. It feels like his opinion of her is that she has some kind of secret sauce that makes things go her way. But I don't see this as anything other than him appreciating this aura of light that comes out of her, right? He sees her in white. He see her in red and white here as well. So again, colors of power, but purity as well. He's got a really good opinion of her. And it makes sense why he would want to be with somebody like that. Not just why he would want to be with somebody like that, but why he's determined. I am headed her way. I'm headed to just head her direction. Aries, my love, Ms. Angel would like to see you. Aries, where's my baby? We've got a Knight of Cups. Come here, big boy. I hear you. Yeah, come on up. Come here. You were asked to sing your little doggy songs and bark, but I thought maybe a little hello would be better. He's out there resting. He just came in from evening walkies and is resting, but I my eyes caught that in the comment section. So Aries says hello. Aries is always near, and never fear. Aries is nearby always. If I'm around, he's on. He's within usually like a 10-foot radius of me. I haven't peed alone in 4 years. Sorry, TMI, which, as we all know, actually means tell more information. um, Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm I'm crude. What can I say? Let's get back to the story, shall we? This Knight of Cups. He definitely sees her as like this little angel. He sees her as somebody that he wants all her kisses, all her loving. That's a song. Kisses all your loving. I can't get the rest of it, but in any case, he feels like this is divine. This is where he's supposed to be. So a lot of what he has done, a lot of his growth, a lot of his arranging his life, a lot of his, putting energy into things has been not only to better his own life, his own circumstances, so he can feel proud of himself, so he can feel like his life is where he wants it to be, but it's also because I think she's been a big inspiration. I feel like he's had this instinctual, like, I belong with her. So that means in order to end up with her, there's some stuff I got to do. And that stuff that he put on his checklist was stuff that was going to improve his life anyway. So what a great reason to be inspired. I mean, I think anytime we're inspired by someone for all the right reasons, not obsessed over somebody, but rather inspired by them, it makes our life better. Because we're doing things that are positive, healthy, good choices for us anyway. And then no matter what the outcome is, whether a relationship, gets off the ground or doesn't, almost is like, well, that was just the icing on the cake. The cake part is the net result is my whole life got better because I met you, or I was inspired by you, and I did some really good things for myself. And now if it turns out I also end up with you, and we're successful together, well, that's actually going to be the icing on the cake. But already I've got the cake, So it just feels like there's only wins in this storyline. But he definitely would like to pursue romance with her. She could have dark hair, she could have blonde hair, she could change her hair color, she could be any ethnicity. We've got a multitude of ethnicities when we look at her. So maybe he just sees her as like the queen of women. When you meet the person who's like, the king of men, the queen of women, it's just they are everything, they are everyone. And it's not even anymore about what they look like, it's about the essence of who they are and what they represent to you. And she represents his favorite one. She is his favorite one, his very favorite one. I just think that's really sweet, that's really beautiful. He has such a lovely opinion of her. We get the Knight of Pentacles. Look, for all the flowery, lovely things in the way he sees her, both of these people are very hard workers because this is shared energy. They've also, you notice how many of those dominoes had to be set just right. You notice how much, one step by step by step by step has to be attended to. These are people with, I think what we're describing is people that actually have like a sincere investment in their lives. They take their life, their jobs, they take things like with the gravity that it demands. Our life matters. What we do with our life's energy matters. Maybe whatever, kicking back, scrolling, doing nothing, laughing at, funny jokes and stuff like that and memes. Okay, maybe that's not like the greatest gravitas of our life, but in general, our life matters. How we spend our time matters, who we spend it with, how we impact others. And I just feel like both of these characters are mindful that their actions in this lifetime have a repercussion, and they are sincerely, like always gravitating toward a goal. And I think that both of them have a nice sincerity to them. Like they want to do their best for the outcome of their life. You know, isn't that all we're really here to do, right? Is to do our best. And hopefully figure out what that means. You know, how can we do better? Sometimes we think we're doing our best and then we realize, wow, I'm falling far short of what I'm capable of doing, how much more I could do better, and how much, you know, smarter my brain is. I didn't give myself enough credit. I could totally take on more. I can definitely, you know, have a more sophisticated thought process. You know, once we start a journey of learning, then we realize that there's so much more for us to learn. And I just feel like both of them share that same, they could be interested in knowledge. They could be interested in doing more with their life's work, their life's energy, taking on bigger projects. I mean, she's over here scrubbing sea turtles down, like marine biology style, you know, maybe cleaning up after oil spills, recognizing more and more that there's a lot of good works that we can do with our life's energy. But they both feel like an impetus to do more with their life, to do well. Whether this is at a humble level or a, you know, global level, it's just like, hey, what I do matters. And so I do things that matter to me. That's great. They're both really hard workers and they're both very dedicated to things that matter. No wonder they're soulmates, right? That Six of Cups is here. These two coming together, they're going to do more work together. And when I say work, what I mean is these two could have like a much greater soul purpose. You put two hard workers together, and sometimes what they can accomplish is more than 10 people that were half-assing it, right? Or 100 people that were half-assing it. You put two people together that actually have work ethic and a vision and intention, and they believe in something, and they can achieve more than sometimes 100 people that are just like, nah, I'm just kind of here for the scenery and the snacks. So I would say that when these two join energy forces, and they are soulmates, so we know that they're like a frequency pairing, right? I have this image in my head right now of somebody who's like pairing, you know, like with a Bluetooth or something, you know, pairing like speakers to their phone or something so they can listen to music. But it's like when these two pair up like that, they're going to be really, really good together. They're going to be able to take on a bigger, like, life task. These two are not just here to survive, and they're not just here for lovey-dovey romance, kissy-huggy. These two, they're going to be able to have that, and they probably will have some pretty hot-blooded romance based off of the, like I say, the gravity of how they look at life and what they think is important. So I'm guessing these two are going to be some serious lovers. But at the same time, they're also going to be able to work hard at something that, you notice this tree of life is huge. And it's obviously a very old, I don't know if that's supposed to be an oak. I wouldn't have said oak just because the pattern looks wrong for the branches to me. But in any case, that looks like a tree that grows in the South that I've never seen before, but I should know the name of, and I can't think of it. This just feels like they have something bigger, like their tree of life would have to be bigger because they're soulmates, which means they've already had a chance to be together in a past life, maybe a couple of them. Maybe this is a continuing saga for them, lifetime after lifetime, you know, putting some effort into however they're supposed to either change the world, improve the world. But these two have a bigger purpose than mere romance. Seven of Cups. You know, it's funny because this is her card, and it's almost like she's been in a funny place lately, wondering, am I going to be in an energy flow of something is coming and I'm supposed to be preparing for it, but I don't know what it is? Is she in a place where she's like sensing changes on the horizon, but she doesn't see what it is? Because the Seven of Cups can be confusion, but it's also about options. But sometimes it's about options, opportunities that haven't presented yet. And here she is saying, I have like this wish, but I don't know where to send my wishes to. I don't know what to manifest. And it's because it's not just her future we're talking about right now. It's his also. And he also seems to be the primary mover shaker to like open up this doorway. He's the one who has to take this action with that 8 of Wands. So she may sense that her life is not stagnant, not on hold, but something big is coming. And I feel like she's understanding that, she's sensing it. By the way, she may see those dandelion wish puffers, especially in the next 7 days. She may see those more often, and that could be a sign that, you know, she's just kind of like mindful that now's the time of some kind of like wishes coming true. We have the Tower. Definitely the shakeup is coming. Definitely the I like the Tower because it's always about freedom to me. Towers are elements of confinement. Oftentimes confinement we didn't know we'd put ourselves into, but the universe knows it. So the universe comes in and is like, no, I'm going to lightning strike that tower down, break down the walls for you. So now you're free. But it can be uncomfortable because it can happen really sudden. So there's about to be a big upheaval in this storyline. I don't know if it's him entering into her world and it's going to be like, whoa, this just rocked me. I didn't expect my week to go this way. I didn't expect him to show up in my life. I don't even know if she knows who he is. He certainly knows who she is, though. I would assume she knows him as well, but I don't know that for sure. We have Temperance. As much as there's a shakeup, it's followed by like a sense of, oh, this is what needed to happen. Okay, so she's only gonna, here she is again in white, but she's only gonna be like shaken and stirred for a second, and then I think things are gonna kind of click back into place. It could even be that his world is gonna be where the Tower occurs. Let me see. What about that Tower? 7 of Wands. Somebody's coming to the edge of the forest. They're no longer lost in the forest. This is coming through the last bit of the trees, the last bit of obstacle or resistance. And, you know, okay, I'm going to quote the Doors, break on through to the other side is what's coming up next. And then the Temperance. Yeah, he's just about at that point where, okay, that's it. It's all this time I've been thinking, I've been planning, and here I am checking up to see, is it time? Are things organized? Is my money good? Am I in the place that I needed to be? Have I crossed the finish line? Can I now take the next step of my life, which has always been to move toward her? And I feel like there's this final like culmination for him. And then it's like, yep, it's go time. All of a sudden, everything has just clicked into place. Everything is solidified. We got the Temperance twice. So we know that there's like shake up followed by a sense of calm and peace for both of them. And there we go again with that 7 of Pentacles. And here we can really see he has been watching her for a while. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Is that the Police? Sting? Oh, can't you see? You belong to me and my poor heart aches with every step you take. We get the Fool. This is him taking that leap of faith early in the morning. Everything here says this has been a while coming, but now the day is arriving. I feel like this is in the next 7 days. The day is arriving. Everything's organized. Everything is in its proper place. This is him coming out of the grave and feeling like reborn. This is him grabbing his suitcase with his heart stitched on the outside of it. It's early morning. I don't know if he's traveling, taking a flight, driving somewhere. And we saw him flying on that 8 of Wands. So could be about to take a flight. He knows right where he's going. He knows right where he's going. It's beeline to her. The Moon, but she does not know this. So I'm going to double down on that idea that I think she's sensing something's coming, not knowing what it is. We got too many 7s in this for this not to be like divinely guided. And I'm going to stick with this, you know, within 7-day time period, just because we have the 7 of Wands, we have the 7 of Cups, we have the 7 of Pentacles coming out twice. It just feels like we got an awful lot of 7s here. So what's our wrap up here? By the way, both of them, when they do meet, they could be wearing similar things like red, green, yellow. She's got the same colors on her blouse as he's got on his serape. 10 of Wands. It's this is the big culmination. I almost feel like these two are going to feel much more peaceful being in each other's sphere. Like they we had the temperance card already come out twice, so we know that they match each other's energy. We had them as soulmates, so again we know they match the same frequency. But I feel like the closer these two get to actually being in each other's worlds, the better they both feel. Like they could be more peaceful when they're around each other. One of my best friends, when she had her first baby, she had gone back to work or tried to go back to work, and it was just not good for her or her baby. They both missed each other too much. And I have such a vivid memory of her, getting home from work, and I had gone over to visit, and, of course I couldn't wait to hold her baby, but I could just tell she was the one who'd been away from her baby for too many hours. And I was like, you need to hold your baby, not me. And both her and the baby were just like, they were just so much more relaxed when they were embracing. And I was like, yeah, you definitely didn't matter. I came over to visit, that I am not the priority. You two need each other. And I'm having this like image in my head of two people where it's like their energy feels better when they're together. There's a sense of peace. There's a sense of like, oh, this is the like the soul connection that gives me that sense of relief to be in your presence, to be in your energy. So I just feel like everything's getting more peaceful for the two of them as this is approaching, as the nearness, as they get closer and closer. What is the situation for her? Because I just didn't see how does she know him? What does she have to do with him? Okay, 4 of Wands. She feels like somehow, some way, that is like he's a reflection of her own energy. There's a whole lot that they have in common. Hierophant. Both of these are marriage cards. So she may already feel like he's bonded to me. He's somebody I could get down with. He's somebody that I could feel is again that frequency match to me. She already knows this. Have these two been lovers then? Or is this a situation where two people just are gravitating toward each other because they will be good together? We get the 4 of Cups. This can be illusions. This can be disappointment. This can be missed opportunities. When I say have they been lovers, I don't know yet. 9 of Cups sideways. They'd like to be. They'd like to be. If they were good together, and it's a big bummer that they've been apart. If they haven't yet been lovers, this is something to look forward to. Ace of Pentacles. See, I don't actually think they have been. The door is still closed. If the door were open, I would have been like, oh yeah, totally. But I feel like this is going to be a whole new energy for the two of them. I think that this is all like two individuals who've not yet been able to realize that, not yet been able to have this relationship, not yet even maybe ever been together as far as romance goes. Whatever remember at the beginning, he was over here still, checking up on stuff. Have I organized everything? Have I tended to everything? Have I handled everything that I needed to? Am I free to move forward? Have I wrapped up things and I've crossed that finish line? So I could understand that this is a relationship that hasn't even begun yet, but two people who know of each other, who feel a powerful pull, but it's not been time yet. And I have to say, during this time period that they've been apart, I feel like they've both simply been becoming more like spiritually fit. Then maybe also physically fit. I don't know. Maybe he's a jogger, a runner, a marathoner. Or maybe this is just representing like his, heck, he could have been in an AA program, and these are, his companions in that program that have been, getting sober together. It could be anything. This could be somebody who's been putting their finances right, and this, just been working hard. Could be anything. Whatever he's been tidying up in his own life, he's been very dedicated. But I would say definitely like spiritually fit, very healthy. Like both of these characters come across as individuals that are very healthy. They dedicate themselves to trying to, again, make their actions count. I mean, what better way to spend our life's energy other than to make our life count, by doing things that are true for us. And if we screw up, then, we're going to inevitably, but then we tidy it back up and we go at it again and we try to do better next round. I just feel like there's been a lot of effort on both of their parts to make sure that they do things that they are feeling are valuable. And so I would say definitely they're both very spiritually fit as far as that goes. But she's aware that her next chapter is about to begin. That's why she hasn't seen exactly what her next chapter is yet, because she's kind of like, all right, universe, I know that usually I can direct my own, energy and actions, but right now I feel like I'm supposed to get guidance, or I feel like there's something coming that will show me what the next chapter is. She does not know that it's actually him coming toward her, but she already has love for this person. She already feels a bond to him as well. She already feels like they are would be a good match. Again, this only makes sense because they're soulmates. They've already been together in past lives, just not in this one. Or they haven't been together as lovers in this lifetime. That's what's coming next. Hell, maybe this will be the first time out of any lifetime that they've been able to actually be together. It's nice to see the fresh start for these two. And like I said, I think this is one that is coming in the next 7 days or so. So can I ask one last question here, though? As far as the way this started with somebody dropping a coin and then seeing where it lands, what does that have to do with everything? Look at the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is like, so maybe that's it. It's like a coin drop. It's the final ending. And we know he's closing a chapter and ready to embark in the next direction. So he could be ending something, finalizing something. He could be about to move. He could be, selling a house. He could be doing any of the things that he needed to so that he can move into his next chapter of life. But that coin that's dropped and is spinning, and it's like, okay, as soon as it flops over, it's like, all right, that's it. That marks the end of something. So I think that's more just that, the turn of phrase, like it's a coin drop, not a coin toss. It's not, it doesn't matter really how it lands. It's already dropped. So this is already done. Now it's just a matter of like his departure and his gravitation toward her. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really good to see you. What is it, baby? What? You did good. Aries was suddenly in protector mode. Eva Luther, thanks you for being here. Hi, Debbie O, Texas. RS, great to see you. Hi, Dwayne. Dwayne, you are fashionably on time, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Ginger Montague, thank you, love. Wajuna Wild. Seawolf, thank you, honey. Wet Lobo 818. Ms. Angie 504. Right back to you. Aries says hi, love. Yeah, you can tell I'm petting him. I'm not just weirdly doing like bizarre circles with my arm in the air. Calm C. Hi, honey. Hi, Sinette. Pretorius, great to see you. Ambiently me, great to see you, love. Thank you. Thank you guys for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Also, just so you guys know, I am going to do a Cancerian video here, and then I'm going to bounce back over to the other channel and probably do at least 2 more zodiacs, more if I continue to be wide awake. I have a feeling it's going to be a late night tonight. So anyway, Queen Ditch, great to see you. Shout out to New Zealand. Tammy Secord, wonderful to see you, love. Are we calling out to Travis? A Sabrina Carpenter song will bring him in. So we must be talking about Travis Rhodes. Travis, everyone is thinking of you warmly. And so, Mom, hi, honey. Hi, Supernova. And Gabrielle. RT, hi, honey. Miss Moody. Mama Eagle, great to see you. You were wearing a serape last time. That's beautiful. Love that. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Nick. So glad you're here, Supernova. Mama Eagle, it is pouring rain in Salem, Oregon, and snowing north of us. Oh my goodness. Stay warm, honey, and dry. Calm Sea, you're saying it was supposed to be 96. You never checked. The humidity was unbearable, but you sat outside most of the day. Oh gosh, humidity. Oh, it drains me faster than anything. Hi, NH. So glad you're here. Ascending Human Condition, great to see you. Aries is giving a shout out to Brooklyn, New York. Oh my gosh, Ginger Montague, 116 in Arizona 2 days ago. Arizona is, I remember a trip that I had taken to Arizona and I landed in Mesa and I went to a hotel and the hot tub I was in was cooler than the air temperature. Hi, JJ. Oh, I used to love him. Good to see you. Julie Engerman, wonderful to see you. Yeah, Colin C, are you doing all right with your move? I know that's so much work. You're still packing. Yeah. Congratulations, though. You got half the kitchen packed. That's awesome. That's 50% less that you still have to do now. That's awesome. That's a huge amount. Yeah, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Divine timing. Wonderful to see you. Angelina Davina, you sweetheart. Crystal Suzanne. Hi, Lulu. Spiritual Serenity. Oh, happy birthday, honey. Happy 33rd. Miss Angie 504. Miss Angie, you were so cute. You're getting more of your wish now, huh? Because Aries is like on little patrol this evening. Rebecca Garcia, wonderful to see you. Catherine Gordon, hi. That's amazing. The penny just dropped out of the laundry as you were putting it in the dryer. How is it that we all have change in our pockets by the time we put them into the washing or drying machine? I feel like it's like every week. And I don't even realize that I have change. Like, I don't even know how it gets in there. Hi, Mary. Violet. Hi, sweetheart. Julie Robertson. Thank you so much, Julie. Martha Stocks. Hi, sweetheart. Caitlin B. Glad to have you in the Night Owl Club. Hi, San Juanita. Thanks again, Wajuna Wild and Rare Lestrange, Star, AC, Annette Summers B, Nikki O. Hi, honey. It's time. Great to see you. Shout out to you in Melbourne. Hi, Kayla. Carl and Chris. Polka Dot Suzanne. How are you feeling, love? So great to hear from you. The Light and Kins and Ginger Montague, you were the first in the house tonight. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and bounce into the Cancerian video here, and then we'll go back over to the other channel. So if this is where we part ways, then sweet dreams. I got to go check on the baby. All right, bye, guys. Aries, come here, love.